Good morning, delightful UUs and guests. I'm Raven Dodd, and I'll be serving as the worship associate today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Our minister, Rev Lisa Doege, is our worship leader this morning. Our worship, religious education, and covenant group theme for February is the practice of inclusion. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we are working to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of people of all races, genders, sexual orientations, ability, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and on site, wherever you are on your journey and whomever you know yourself to be. If you're visiting with us this morning and you would like to introduce yourself, please rise or raise your hand, and Chris will bring a microphone. As part of our commitment to accessibility, we use microphones whenever anyone speaks so that everyone in the sanctuary and those watching on YouTube can hear. There's someone there on that side.
Hi, I'm Jen, and this is Adam. He lost his voice, so I'm speaking today. We're visiting from a UU in Amarillo, Texas, and we're here in Savannah for my birthday weekend. Yesterday was my birthday, so.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you all for having us.
Thanks. Anyone else on that side? No? Okay, over here.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Melanie Nemec, and I grew up in Savannah in the 1960s and attended periodically the UU church at the time, which was in somebody's living room on the second floor of a townhouse. I live in New York City. I'm a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of All Souls on the Upper East Side, and I'm happy to be here. I'm visiting actually for a memorial service of one of my high school classmates, but I'm happy to have the opportunity to visit the Unitarian Church of Savannah for the first time since you've been in this building. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning, I'm Jenny Bell, and this is my partner, Dave Gatto. We are here visiting from Western Massachusetts, from the Unitarian Universalist meeting of South Berkshire, and we are really enjoying your beautiful little city.
Anyone?
Hi, my name is Daniela, and I am now a Savannah resident, and this is my first time at the church, so I just want to say hello to everyone.
Welcome.
If you are looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It's good to have you all with us. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You can go out that door or the side door, follow the others around the corner or across the courtyard right into Ron Hall, or ask one of the ushers. After the children's story and after the offering, we sing a short response. The lyrics are printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. Use the QR code on the rainbow chalice to sign up for our newsletter and receive a welcome letter from our minister, or if you prefer, fill a card out by hand. The card with the red heart is for your joy or sorrow. If you fill out either of these cards, please put it in the collection plate as it comes around a little bit later, and please write clearly. Thank you. Church announcements are mailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Please check your email for complete details about the following. This is from David. All children are invited to come back to the sanctuary at 12:15 for 15 minutes with Mr. David. Music and fun guaranteed. The Music Mix concert is next Sunday, February 15th. Asaf Gleisner and guests at 3 p.m. here in the sanctuary. We have a new Ron Hall Art Gallery show, Embrace the Change. This is a call for new art to be installed by February 15th. Again, all the details are in the Friday e-blast, and guests feel free to ask one of us for information. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Aidan. No matter how strong the wind of evil may blow, the flame of truth cannot be extinguished. That's from the Dalai Lama.
We arrive as individuals, as couples, as families, as neighbors, as friends. We got here by walking, by biking, by riding, by driving, by connecting. We bring with us our joys and our sorrows, our laughter and our tears, our worries and our fears, our questions and our beliefs, our ethics and our values. Some of us arrived early this morning or joined us 10 minutes ago or encountered obstacles on their way or will arrive just in time for the sermon or will sign in online later this week or even next month. We are sitting in pews, leaning on walkers or canes, stretching in the aisles, settling in wheelchairs, and relaxing in recliners. We, members, friends, and visitors alike, come from many paths and join together as one congregation to lift up our highest ideals. We have gathered. Now let us worship. Will you please rise in spirit or in body for our hymn? We will sing verses 1 and 2 of hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. pictures may come forward. Our story this morning is called The Big Umbrella. By the front door, there is an umbrella. It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. It likes to spread its arms wide. It loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you are tall or hairy or plaid. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Some people worry that there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There is always room. Thank you for being good listeners. We will sing you on your way to RE.
We make it possible. I come on Sunday feeling weary, having worn out the snooze button on my alarm clock. I come on Sunday feeling frightened, having seared my eyes reading the latest news. I come on Sunday feeling burdened, having fretted about my workday worries. But I leave Sunday service feeling refreshed, having been renewed by the spirit of love in the community that exists here. I leave Sunday service feeling whole, feeling lifted up by the words of righteous challenge. I leave Sunday service feeling energized and ready to continue our fight for peace and justice. This haven, this refuge, this place of worship and wonder exists because we make it so with our contributions. The gifts of our time, our skills, our food, our love, our laughter, and our money. Please join me in giving so that we may continue to have a place that fortifies and challenges us in these trying and troubled times. And that was by Jessica Lynn. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service or go to www.uusavannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Thank you for your generosity. Well, we have all joys this morning. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, our first joy is happy birthday to Mark Kaloum, our wonderful, outstanding sexton. And after the service in Ron Hall, there will be cake. I have a joy from the Women and Children's Hospital in Buffalo. An inspirational artist is giving patients a window view with murals designed to spark an escape from the sterile environment of chemotherapy, taking them on an imaginary journey to a sunny place. And they are beautiful. She actually paints a window and the depth of everything in this gorgeous scenery after. It's really wonderful. I have a joy from Susan Daggett. After I shared that my daughter Kylan was suffering 2 weeks ago, I received an email of condolence from UU Mary Garofalo. I was so moved by her message. And from Katie, thankful for a world that keeps sharing, thank you for a world that keeps showing up with new friends. Amen to that. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere. Yet joy is reborn. As we mourn together, so we celebrate together. And offer thanks. That we are not alone. So may it be now and in all the days to come.
Let us enter a spirit of meditation. Breathe. It's all you must do. Breathe in, breathe out. Especially breathe out. Breathe out the held breath. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. And if the out is accompanied by a tear or a sigh or a curse or a ragged scream, then let the tear, the sigh, the curse, the ragged scream out. Yes, even here, even now, this very instant, in the very room where you are. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe out the fear. Breathe out the anger. Breathe out the bewilderment. Breathe them out because they take up precious space. Breathe them out not to banish them, for they are here to stay a while. Breathe them out because accumulated, concentrated, hoarded in our bodies, they fester, and festering, they become poison. Breathe. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe in oxygen for survival. Breathe in resolve. Breathe in hope. Breathe in great drafts of air that when the time comes, you might breathe out song. Breathe out rallying cries. Breathe out prayer. Breathe. 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 Amen. Our first reading this morning comes from Leslie Hazelton from their book, Agnostic, A Spirited Manifesto. A classic Zen exercise is the Enzo, a circle hand-drawn in a single fluid brushstroke. It is close to perfect, but never there. If perfection is what you want, you can produce it any time by using a compass or a computer. But the Enzo defies such mechanistic precision. Indeed, it is often left incomplete, left slightly open as though an invitation to everything beyond it. And each one is different, never the same circle twice. You can see the hairs of the brush in the drag of the ink on the paper. Trace the fluidity of the moment when the stillness of meditation was released in one rapid stroke. Sense the calm grace of the artist. The beauty of the Zen circle lies precisely, or more precisely, imprecisely, in its imperfection. That is what speaks to us and draws us in. A perfect circle is uninteresting, a closed system containing nothing, while an imperfect one vibrates with warmth. It invites us into the moment of its creation, into that single deep exhalation as the hand arced through the air, the brush over the paper. It is open, human, fallible, an expression, that is, of soul. And our second reading from the poet Rosemary Watola Tromer, In a Dangerous Time. I think of the bones of the unsung rib cage, the way they protect the heart, how bone too is living, how it constantly renews and remakes itself. I think of how ribs engage with other ribs to expand, to contract, and because they do their solid work, they allow the heart to float. This is what I want to do, to be a rib in this body of our country, to make a safe space for love. There is so much now that needs protection. I want to be that flexible, that committed to what's vital, that unwilling to yield. Here end the readings. Please rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 93, To Mercy, Pity, Peace, and Love. A few years back, in the height of the COVID pandemic, in the midst of the Black Lives Matter uprising, in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, I asked my mentor in ministry if we were living in the end times. This is a woman who co-wrote the Sunday school curriculum I was raised on, a curriculum grounded in the use of story and religious imagery, and who a couple decades later supervised my ministerial internship. She knows me, my faith formation, and my theology well. So first she laughed because, well, we were FaceTiming from our respective isolation chambers, nearly 1,500 miles distant from one another, in, as I've said, the middle of a pandemic and a racial reckoning. All of it seemed unbelievable, laughable, not funny, but laughable. And then after laughing, she answered me seriously, "No, things aren't bad enough for these to be the end times." I don't believe in the sort of cataclysmic eschatological end times described in certain Christian scriptures, so my question was largely metaphorical, and yet it wasn't solely metaphorical. I was asking, can I just give up because this is it? If it's all over, if everything we've known and depended on is alternately collapsing in on itself and being brought down from outside forces, then can I stop trying to find or make meaning? Stop trying to make a difference? And I was asking, am I up to the task of living and ministering in this moment that may not be the end of world or history or civilization, but really feels like the end? For that matter, what even is the task of living and ministering in such times? In her answer, "No, things aren't bad enough," I heard my mentor say, "Take heart, because as bad as it feels, this isn't bad enough to signal the end of everything. And if it's not the end, there is hope." And I heard her say, "Stand guard, because if it isn't bad enough now to signal the end, then it can get worse." Now here we are, very nearly 5 years later. We've emerged, most of us, from pandemic isolation, and that particular round of Black Lives Matter demonstrations, that particular instance of extrajudicial police killing, are no longer in the news. But one or two or several hundred other things are happening around us. So this week I asked my mentor again, are these the end times? Again, first she laughed and then answered, "For democracy, maybe." And then she continued, "It's not over, but it's as close to over as we've come to in our time." Then she pondered, what do the end times look like, feel like? Did Europeans in the build-up to World War II sense that the established world order was about to be toppled? I asked the question, is this the end time, then and now? Because when times are fraught and so much is uncertain, changing so rapidly, in my fear and in my pursuit of security, I look for categories and frameworks to give me the illusion of understanding, of mastery. If I can name it, I believe, I'll know what to do. Perhaps in times of crisis, you do the same or something similar. The task of naming, of deciding what label best fits this current moment, however, belongs to future historians. Our job is to discern what this moment calls us to, what actions, what ways of being in the world, even if we don't have a tidy label for the moment. No one has asked me yet, and thank you for that. No one has asked me yet directly what our church's response or action will be, should be, today, next week, for the coming years. No one, that is, other than me. I've asked myself that question every day since November 5th, and just about every waking hour since January 20th. You have perhaps been asking the same question of yourself about your response, your individual course of action. There are so many ways we as individuals and as a congregation could respond. Keep calm and carry on with life or church as usual. Choose an issue and put all of our own or the church's human and financial resources on the line for that one issue. Divert all our individual passion for social justice or convert all our congregation's social action ministry resources and volunteers into a sort of clearinghouse that gathers and redistributes the most accurate, trustworthy, up-to-date information about unfolding events and coordinated public actions so that our individual members can decide for themselves how to engage. We could collaborate with local partners, collaborate with Unitarian Universalist partners, to name but a few of the ways we might respond, a few actions we might take by ourselves or as a congregation. I don't know the right answer for myself as an individual. I don't even know the one right answer for us as a congregation here today. And I'm pretty sure that if there is a single right course of action for us this week, then by month's end or certainly by summer, that course will need to be adjusted or abandoned in favor of some other more efficacious path forward that we cannot yet see or imagine. One thing of which I am certain, we are going to double down and triple down and quadruple down on community here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Fear and uncertainty tempt me to withdraw into the perceived security of isolation. Yet my faith teaches me that these are not times to go it alone. These are times that will destroy us if we don't surround ourselves with people we know and trust, people who will hold our fears and sorrows and questions with us, people who will speak their truths and hear our truths, people who will celebrate small joys and tide-turning triumphs with us, even in the midst of all that is terrible, all that is unknown, all that is uncharted. A new covenant group is meeting for the first time after church today, joining several other covenant groups that have been meeting for some years already. These groups meet monthly for discussion of our Soul Matters themes. They form the background of our adult faith formation ministry here at church. They are also small communities within our larger congregational community. The regular gathering of the same group of people for thoughtful consideration of spiritual themes month after month provides the opportunity for relationships to deepen in ways not possible in the course of snatched conversation in crowded coffee hours. Our choir is another community within the UUCS community. The repetition of gathering for rehearsal Wednesday evenings and Sunday mornings 9 months out of the year, combined with the deep listening that is required to create a melodic whole out of disparate voices, lends itself to the birth of relationships that in turn grow into community. Megan, our marvelous director of religious education, fosters community in our mixed-age Sunday school classroom week after week. She leads formal lessons pulled from the Soul Matters RE resources and from a curriculum that uses Legos to explore our newly articulated UU values. She also incorporates each Sunday time for the kids to listen to one another and respond from their young wisdom. And she schedules periodic Sunday fun days for game playing in Philippa's Place or out on Troop Square. With regular attendance, community takes root in that carefully crafted environment. And it's not just our kids who find community in Philippa's place. When they go up after service to pick up their kids, most of our parents spend 10, 20, 30 minutes standing in that sunny space, surrounded by the products of their children's faith development activities, talking with one another and with Megan. Our kids, our parents, and our kids and parents and Megan all together are communities within our congregation as a whole. Our Green Team is a community centered on participants' passion for our earth and solidified through their activities. Likewise, our Anti-Racism Committee, meeting month after month for challenging, vital conversations, exists as a community centered on a commitment to racial justice and forged through those congregations and through ARC's efforts to engage the larger congregation in the ongoing work of anti-racism. In addition to these discrete, though sometimes overlapping, micro-communities, we build and nurture community within our congregation in several ad hoc ways. Cakes, Cookies, and Conversation kicked off last Friday and joins Game Night and Art Saturday as an informal opportunity to get to know our companions in the congregation in a slightly less crowded Ron Hall than Sunday morning Ron Hall. Even Lisa on the Loose, intended as a casual opportunity for church members to chat with me, again, not always easy on Sunday mornings, has developed into a community nourishing time each week as anywhere from 3 to 10 church folks who may never have done more than say hello to each other before sit for 90 minutes with no agenda other than conversation. Now, this is important. While community is a generally accepted good, while I believe to my bones that community is a necessary core component of any strategy for the protection of our BIPOC and migrant and LGBTQIA kin at home and around the world, and for the survival of entire populations who depend on U.S. foreign aid for humanitarian relief, health programs, economic development, and peace and security, and for the mitigation of the economic devastation that seems inevitable on multiple fronts, as vital as it is, still we have to take great care with community. Community can lead to attitudes and practices that create and reinforce us-them, exclusion rather than inclusion. Communities, even when they avoid overt exclusion, can become insular, cutting members off from exposure and access to other communities, keeping members from another vital core strategic component this moment calls for, networking. These dangers are why I love the piece we heard this morning from Leslie Hazelton about Enzo, the imperfect, often not quite closed Zen circle. Communities are always imperfect because they are human constructions. At their best, they are also not quite closed. They hold space, freedom, and mechanisms for entry into them from the outside, and space, freedom, and mechanisms for exit from within to the outside. We have had 6 people sign our congregation's membership book in the past 12 days. Our Sunday morning attendance since the beginning of 2025 has averaged 106 people, including online, in the sanctuary, and babies, children, and adults in the nursery and religious education. We've always had lots of tourist visitors, as we do this morning. In recent weeks, Many, however, of our Sunday morning visitors have been Savannah residents looking for a church community. We keep our community's circle open for these seekers. And we keep it open for our current longtime members too, knowing that in times of great stress and uncertainty, people's needs and routines shift. Some of us may be on our way out of this community, even as others are on their way in, and still others may be finding their way back. This movement in all directions is an indicator of congregational health. The cause for caution around community isn't limited to the relationship between those in the community and those not in the community. Internally, communities can harbor bullies, or, short of that, nevertheless fail to foster respectful and kind interactions and communication. Communities can fall into stultifying patterns and rigid role stratification. Their guiding principles and values can fail to adapt to changing times and circumstances. Members and friends who can't easily participate, in the case of a church, can't easily attend Sunday morning or take part in social events or social justice actions may rightly feel forgotten or overlooked. Last spring, our Board of Trustees appointed and charged a Healthy Congregations team. Dan Flaherty, Jane Hoffman, Roxana Lester, and Jacqueline Smallwood. They have been meeting for months now, every other week, studying best practices and preparing for a fall launch of processes that will assist us in living into respect and kindness as individuals and as a congregation, while setting boundaries around bullying behaviors. Our nominating committee, always led by the most recent past president, understands its charge to be broader than simply plugging any willing or unwilling volunteer into open leadership positions, but rather to also ensure that the new and perhaps unlikely members are invited to join our board and into other elected positions. 3 relatively new members of our congregation, Mary Garofalo, Matt Brigman, and Summer El Talib Granado, have agreed to serve on a revitalized pastoral care committee. Their commitment, along with Susan Daggett's valuable input, will move us toward not allowing any member or friend of our congregation feel forgotten or left out. Our board and I share the task of keeping an eye on our ministries so that we don't stray from our values, and as well an eye both on the ever-evolving mix of theologies, spiritualities, interests, and resources of our congregation, and on the larger, ever-evolving landscape of Savannah, Chatham County, the South, and the United States, so that we can keep it all aligned. Our professed values, our lived faith, the needs of our community of communities, and the needs of the macro communities of which UUCS is itself a micro community. These are the primary formal means by which the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah preserves, deepens, and enhances its existence as a community of community, the ones I named earlier, and other communities yet to emerge. You know that meme that pops up on Facebook from time to time? A bit of harmless time-wasting silliness, or like so many other things on Facebook, a means of tricking us into giving away information about ourselves, or both. The one that posits something like, the first 8 people on your friends list are your companions in a lifeboat or on a deserted island. It's ridiculous, of course. If any one of us were to find ourselves on a deserted island, it would most likely be the result of a plane crash or a shipwreck. And the people we'd find ourselves stranded with the exception, if we're very lucky, of one or two family members or friends we might have been traveling with, the other people on that no longer deserted island would be strangers, fellow travelers and airline or ship's crew members. People we've never met before. People with whom we have little to nothing in common, not even a friend of a friend of a friend sort of social media acquaintance. And we might form a community, and we might help one another survive, or we might encounter the Lord of the Flies. But look around this room. Sign in to the YouTube live chat feature and look at the names there. Right now, and next Sunday, and whenever we gather for worship. These 75 or 80 or 90 other people are your companions in one of the lifeboats that will carry you through all that is to come as the result of last fall's election. Not your only lifeboat, probably. Not your only companions. Your neighborhood, your 12-step program, your chosen family or nuclear family may be a lifeboat too. It is good to have more than one community, more than one lifeboat in unprecedentedly perilous times. Still, I believe this congregation of people who may not yet be friends, but aren't quite random strangers either, for they, like you, were drawn here looking for similar things. This congregation, this community of communities, if we take good and deliberate, just and loving care of it and of one another, will carry us all to safety. Even if it is ultimately a safety that looks and feels and functions unlike any safety we can imagine today. May it be so. Amen. Please rise now in spirit or body for verses number 3 and 4 of hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. wait until after the choir. Okay, no, after the choir. Through the ages and across the globe, people have turned to faith communities in times of need. For centuries, our faith tradition has offered the hope that grows from our conviction that we are held by a love that will not let us go. Let us go forth buoyed by that hope, and until we meet again, know ourselves to be wrapped in the embrace of this congregation, this embodiment of that love. Amen. The choir gets the final word this morning. Please be seated.